Warning. The facts you are about to hear are based off 2 hours of researching the pros and cons of history's heroes and most controversial figures. This is Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. Okay. I do. I don't even want to get into how much I think I'm on par with so many people if we're putting this in the podcast, because that will be offensive, because I feel like I'm a lot greater than most. You know what I say?
Wow.
Than a lot of people even know. Is what I'm saying is
talk that shit.
What I'm saying is those that don't know will learn.
Wow. I like that.
Those that know.
Wow.
But I've been saying that since I first started comedy. I'm like, whenever, even if I bombed in front of people, I'm like, those that don't know will learn, and those that know.
Those that don't know will learn. I like that.
Yeah. Because I believe in myself. My destiny is determined.
Is it?
Yeah, I've won.
I've
already won.
I've determined today I got God with me.
Nice. Me too.
I determined that when I got pulled over today. I was like, what?
Wow.
They were literally back there for 20 minutes. So I took, like, when you called, I was like, I'm not picking up. I'm not moving. Like, I didn't want to move. I didn't want them to see me doing anything.
Yeah, of course.
So I was
not.
like, no, I'm not doing nothing. Bro, and then I said, Dad, please help me.
Really?
Please. I'm like, please help me.
Yeah, I've prayed to God so hard in a pinch.
Yeah, fuck. And it actually helped. Oh, thank God. You know why it's also thank God when I get pulled over like that? Because some guys die when they get pulled over, you know? And I was all good. It was actually a great exchange.
Yeah.
It was fuck. It's crazy.
When he heard your voice, was he like, this is one of the good ones?
It has to be.
So,
I always think that.
Okay, so calling up pulled over on his way to my house today. When the cop came to your window, what was your first how'd you greet him?
Oh, how'd I greet him? Hello, sir. How you doing?
Whoa, that's how you're going to talk to me? Oh, great. Young man.
Yeah, man. I was very, 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 very nice. I had the super white interview voice.
License registration. You're like, here it is, sir. It's already ready to go for you.
I was like, sir, the only thing with that is my wallet is in my bag. And my bag's back there. So if you don't mind, I'm going to
my bag has all my drugs in it. The only thing about that is my wallet's in my bag, and my bag has all my drugs in it. So I don't think I want to open it in front of you.
Not true. Kind of. Not true. But yeah, I was just like, and he's like, yeah, sure. He's like, you can get out and get it. And I did that, and I went and got it. And I was like, here you go. And I'm like, and I've never been through this procedure before. So I'm like, you're going to have to show me which one is my ownership. I don't actually know. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is my insurance. Pretty sure this is the ownership. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, and do you need this or anything else? He's like, no. And I just sat in the car for like 20 minutes. I was like, fuck, they're going to fuck.
20 minutes?
Yeah. That's why I was like, yo.
He was looking for something on you then.
Maybe. But my record, there's nothing. I have an assault
He's
on
like,
me.
We're going to get something on this guy.
I have an assault on me.
Yeah.
That's what my record shows. And it shows when I was 8 years old.
Who assaulted you?
It was like a grown-ass man.
Oh, yeah, when you were a kid.
Yeah,
I think you talked about this before.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I have on my record. Unless there's like other things that I don't know about. But
yeah.
I doubt it. So yeah, he came back and he's like, here you go. He's like, I reduced it for you. He's like, you're going 95. He's like, put it down to 75. They
always reduce it.
Well, I think if he didn't, I would have got the merit points.
Okay, nice.
So I would have been going almost 50 over.
Yeah. Well, good thing God is with you. And speaking of God being with thou. With thou. Henry the VIII.
Yo, intro it. Give me the energy. Give me one of your intros.
It was about to happen.
Give me it.
It was about to happen.
Give it.
Speaking of being with God, we're going to get into a guy this week that was with God. He had an interesting relationship with God, and we're going to get into all that on Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. Today, we're going all the way back to the 1500s to talk about Henry the not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seventh, but the eighth, Henry the VIII. What made Henry the VIII the most powerful and exciting and memorable Henry of them all? We're going to find out today on Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. I'm James Jam Easy Cummins, and I'm here with my co-host.
Wow. Colin Cummings. Sorry, I wasn't even ready. I was basking in all that. That was amazing.
The glory.
You bring it in. I like
William Shakespeare wrote of Henry VIII, men's evil manners live in brass. The virtues we write in water. You like that?
Yeah.
That's a really good.
Yeah.
It is good because for a show like Pros and Conquerors, it's saying the cons are written in brass. The pros are written in water.
True.
How do you write something in water? You don't.
Yeah, it disappears as soon as you try.
Brass is much more longer lasting than what you write in water. I can write a letter in water, and it'll disappear quick. I can't even get to write a full word. How about you?
That's great.
Unless you're talking pissing in the snow.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
snow is a form of water.
Damn. Yeah, true. I guess you didn't think about that.
But that melts every season, so it's still gone.
And plus, you didn't piss in the snow as a king. You just didn't do that kind of thing.
Who knows?
You pissed on people for sure, but not more than that. Yeah.
Well, yes, he did. He had quite a resume. He was
Can I ask quick? Who actually is he? He was the king of what?
England.
Really?
Yeah. In the 1500s.
Oh, holy fuck. Okay.
So the thing about Henry VIII. So did you know anything about Henry VIII before?
Obviously not.
Neither did I.
No. I always heard. Yeah, no, not really. It's weird. It's something that you know about when you hear Henry VIII. You know exactly what someone's talking about, but you actually don't.
He's such a big figure in history that he's been in portrayed in multiple movies, TV shows. I haven't seen them. Now tonight I'm probably gonna watch a Henry VIII movie just because I'll see which one was the best one. But yeah, man, he definitely had a dramatic life. We'll say that. That's why he very like made for TV drama. You know what I mean? Soap opera life. Drama. So he did a lot of great things, but all of the great things he's done might have been overshadowed by some of his less savory moves. Are you reading my notes?
No. Anytime you see me doing this, I'm just staring. Trust me. All right, I can't read and listen.
Because I was going to jump ahead, but I'm like, let's leave it as a surprise since you know nothing about him.
Yeah.
So we'll start at the beginning. All right. Now, in 1491, Henry was born. He was born Henry VIII, son of Henry the VII, obviously, who became king after 3 decades of civil war. There was all these guys fighting to be king of England. England was in like a real transitionary place where it's like they didn't know who should be taking over as king. So it was Henry's dad and his brothers were fighting over the country at that time.
Okay.
So Henry the VII took over, and he was a decent king, but he was a little bit since they were just coming off a civil war, he was very iron fist. He ruled with an iron fist. He kept everyone in line.
Stoic.
No one could defer from, you know what I mean? Oh, you're questioning me as king? Off with their head.
Yeah.
And he fined people like crazy if you stepped out of line. Like,
really?
Fined people like crazy. So he actually made so much riches. He was such a rich king because he put out so many fines.
Is that where all the fine money goes?
Henry was not in line to be king because he had an older brother named Arthur, and Arthur got married to the Queen of Spain, or the next Queen of Spain, so that would be a strong alliance. While Arthur was being groomed to be king, Henry was learning like a bunch of church stuff, basically like studying to maybe become a monk. He was playing lots of sports. He played music, and he was actually a really cool kid. Everyone loved him. Good looking, tall, good at everything.
He's good looking.
He could play. He could play music, and he was very athletic. He apparently had very sexy legs, some of the best legs ever. Like everyone used to comment on his calves.
Everybody would be like, "Look at your calves.
Look at those calves."
Really? So this guy's like Chris Hemsworth.
Not
basically.
skipping leg day. Just a 6'2" at least. Some people say he was 6'4", and very handsome.
Jesus.
And people came from all over the world to teach him theology because he was at that time. The church was such like a involved thing with royalty that if you weren't going to be king, you might as well be an expert on religion.
What?
So,
damn.
Henry the VII was his dad, right? I told you he amassed all these riches. Now, before Arthur, the son, could become king, he actually died. And to make sure that they kept a good alliance with Spain, Henry the VII was like, all right, well, my son Henry the VIII will just marry this widow. So she was much older than him, and he didn't really want to marry her, but it was his brother's wife. So he's like, this is kind of weird, but his dad was like, nah, fuck it, we can't lose Spain. So they got married.
Damn.
So that's how, yeah. And
that's how they move, eh?
That's how they move.
So what part of the world do you think that they're keeping when that royal guy married that black chick? You think there's like a thing that they get out of that?
Black chick?
Yeah. What's her name? Something Markle?
Oh, Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle, yeah.
Oh, these days, no, that was a fuck up for the royal family. They kept it.
You think so?
Well, in terms of what they do, because normally they marry like, oh, this royal cousin or whatever. There's so much inbred shit. It is a lot of inbred shit.
Yeah, definitely.
To keep it royal blood.
So you think
you only have so many options.
There was no land in that one, in that marriage. Like you didn't get anything.
In that one, he gave up his royal responsibilities.
But do you think he really did?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. That's what they say.
He's starting the podcast. We'll see.
Exactly. He'll talk all about it on his podcast. Anyways, when Henry the VII died, Henry the VIII took over, and it was a big celebration because Henry the VII, like I said, ruled with an iron fist. He was taxing people like crazy. So when he died, everyone was excited. Not only that, they all loved Henry the VIII. Yeah. Henry the VIII the whole time wasn't even being groomed to be king. He was just a guy like not living among the people. He was still royal, but at the same time, he was singing. He was in plays. Like people were just like, this guy's sick. Like this guy's just a dope guy.
Oh, so he is like the guy who married Meghan Markle.
Well, why was he singing and dancing and writing plays?
He's like
shit?
A great guy, like just in with the people. Always went to parties his whole life. Just would mingle, do dumb shit.
So when Henry VII died, he had a fortune of over 375 million, and in Henry's like first year as king, he spent $18 million of that on parties. He threw like extravagant parties. Amazing. He threw extravagant parties, and he was giving away so much land. You came to Henry VIII to request something, and he was just like, yeah. He's like, oh, can I be a lord? Sure. Can I get that land over there? Go for it. Me and my family want to have a big feast. Can you give us like some extra pigs? And he was just such a generous king when he took over.
Bro, what is 375 million transferred to today?
Today. And that was pounds.
That would be an 18 million?
Yeah,
bro, that's like this, just ballpark like $50 million he spent on like parties.
Oh yeah.
Like it might even be more. It might be 100 million.
It was my Super Sweet 16 every day.
Every day.
Like he loved Christmas. He threw multiple Christmas parties in the year.
Multiple?
Like when Christmas was coming, he's like, we need to have at least like 3 or 4 Christmas parties.
Damn.
Yeah. So everyone was loving him when he took over. Everyone was like, this guy's such a. Especially coming off that last era. So he was such a beloved king. Everyone was loving him. But like I said, or like Shakespeare said, his virtues were written in water because this is not how he became remembered. He wrote songs. He wrote plays. He was just artistically and culturally, like he had a big influence on culture in England as well.
That's crazy. I wonder if they were actually good, if it was just like he'd write some garbage and they'd be like, oh, the king, great. Or I wonder if it was like actually like legit shit.
There's some hits that he got credit for.
Really?
People debate whether it was actually him that wrote it like years later.
Okay.
But I think it's also because they have some hate for him now.
True.
Now, even though he was throwing all these parties and he was doing all this cool stuff culturally, he's like, how does a king get remembered? You have to go to war. So he wanted to go to war. He wanted glory. It was very important to him to leave a mark, to be like a king that people talk about for years later. So he went to war with France. He wanted to go to war with France, but the council that's in charge of like signing off on wars and like approving the money, they said, oh, we don't have enough money for this. So he's like, oh, I'm the king. I'm just going to change the rules. I don't need your approval anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, whose approval does he need?
So, but he was the first king to do that. Like,
really?
Before him, people would. There was a system in place that was like, if we're gonna go to war, if we're gonna do a big spending thing, we needed to get it approved by the royal council or whatever.
Really? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
But he got, since he was like into religion and stuff at the time, he got his local cardinal to like sign off on him being, the king should have the power.
Of course.
You agree, right? God agrees, doesn't he? Cardinal's like, hell yeah, let's go to war with France. So he started winning wars in France. It was going well and everything, but he ran out of money and he just had to come home. So it was kind of a wasted effort. Like they just spent money on going to make an impact, but they didn't hold anything in France because they didn't have the money to keep it.
Damn. He's trying though. He's trying.
Came back to England and his wife got pregnant with a girl. He had been married to her for 20 years. This is her 5th pregnancy. 4 died as babies.
Oh my God.
Or stillborns. And so this is his first kid that's actually living, but it's a girl. And he was pissed because he's like, you're supposed to give me a son. He blamed the queen. He blamed the queen because he had been fucking maids and what do you call unroyal, like common ladies, that
common folk.
He was getting sons, but they were bastards and they could never be royal. So he's like, I'm making sons. It's your vagina that's fucking up.
Oh, that's crazy. So what? There's not. Oh yeah, because they have to hold Spain, so he has to have kids with her.
And now here's the fucked up part. So Henry, the fact that she wasn't giving him a son, he was already pissed. And he did have an alliance with Spain. Now the guy that was ruling Spain was her nephew, but they got in a fight over something. Like basically one of those wars in France, the nephew, he didn't bring his army to show up with them. So Henry was pissed about that. So he's like, okay, if we're not going to have that strong alliance with Spain and you're not going to give me a son, I might as well get rid of you. So,
oh shit.
And while that was happening, he started falling in love with a local woman that was like, she was of noble birth. So she could actually be a queen. So he's like, man, I want to marry her. And he was writing her love letters. Actually, I don't know if he wanted to marry her at first because he was just wanting to fuck her. But she's like, the only way I'm going to fuck you is if you make me queen. So he was so horny for her. He used to write her love letters, and he said he wanted to kiss her pretty duckies. What do you think her pretty duckies are?
Oh, it's the duck lips for sure.
What's duck lips?
Her pussy, for sure.
He wanted to eat her pussy?
Yeah, for sure. Bro, she probably had all sorts of nobility to her, you know? She probably stacked up. He's in love. He's sprung. She's like probably like an IG chick.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. She was just a sexy lady. So what was it? So that same cardinal that gave him permission to rewrite the laws to skip past the council for going to war, he asked that cardinal, can we get this divorce? Like, you're not supposed to get a divorce. He was very Catholic and everything. So the cardinal went to ask the Pope, but I guess he did it in too loud of a way. Like, he should have done it more secretly because gossip spread around Europe and everyone knew what was on this now. So now the king was very pissed off at that cardinal. Like, they had a falling out over that, even though that was like his dude that helped him do other shit.
Yeah.
That fucked him up. So they went to trial for the divorce. Now they had to go to trial for the divorce, and King Henry's argument was basically that since she was married to his brother before, they should have never been allowed to get married anyways.
True.
So this should be annulled. It's Leviticus 20:21. And if a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing. He hath uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. So that's in the Bible.
Wow.
Leviticus said that.
And that's what happened to him.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
So he didn't consider his daughter a child, obviously. He's like, this is a daughter. I need
that's a girl.
Yeah.
That's barely a person back then.
Exactly.
To
in
them,
the 1500s.
like, that's not.
What is this thing?
He's like,
that's a bargaining chip. That's just something that I marry off somewhere else.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's just like, that's just a little placeholder for land and shit.
So the Pope, his argument, or sorry, King Henry's argument is the Pope should have never allowed it in the first place. But the Pope came back with, somehow he uncovered King Henry's love letters to that girl about kissing her pretty duck lips. And he's like, the reasoning is not in the Bible, it's in his pants. That's what the Pope said.
Ooh.
Yeah, this guy just wants to fuck. So the trial actually dragged on for 2 years, but in the end, the Pope said no divorce.
See, this is the thing, though. Why didn't he just kill her?
Which is what's coming up next.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, because like...
You said the same thing that King Henry said. King Henry was trying to go by the book because up until this point, King Henry was a big-time Catholic. Very loved the Pope. The Pope actually, up until this point, used to call him the defender of Catholicism. He would call King Henry that.
Really?
Because, remember, actually ties into our 2 episodes again, Martin Luther King. Remember Martin Luther King's dad went to Germany and fell in love with the idea of Martin Luther and his reformist ideas for the religion. So this was around that time. This was in the 1500s when Martin Luther existed, and King Henry didn't like Martin Luther's new reformed ideas.
Oh, really?
And he actually wrote a book called Defending the Seven Sacraments, because Martin Luther was questioning some traditions that Catholics had. King Henry wrote a book that was like a hit. He wrote a hit book.
Really?
This is one of the things that people did love him for. Crazy. And that's why he was called the defender of Catholicism. So up until this point, very big on just doing what the Pope says. But now, obviously, he's pissed that the Pope's cock-blocking him. Pope's cock-blocking him. And because of that, he said, fuck it, we're cutting off from the Catholic, well, not from the Catholic religion, but we're not going to have Pope influence anymore. England's going to be England's Catholic Church. We're not going to be. Back then, it was like we all refer to the Vatican. We all talk, really? The Pope has final say on a lot of things.
Why? You're a king. See, that's so weird. They put that guy above a king.
Yeah, they did up until then. That's why this was Henry the VIII is so big in history, because it changed the course of English history. England was under the Pope's thumb up until then.
Wow.
Henry the VIII is the one that made England break off and start their own traditions.
What the fuck?
Up until then, actually, the only Bibles they had were written in Latin. King Henry, we're going to get to that in a little bit, but King Henry rewrote a Bible. And at that point, then he came around to some of Martin Luther's ideas too. He's like, okay, it's going to be a little bit of Catholic, a little bit of Reformed. He didn't go with like the most aggressive reformations that were a little bit too radical. He kept some Catholic stuff, but he also borrowed some ideas from that and made one Bible. And that was the first English Bible.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So did he want, so now that he got the Pope out of there, he was able to murder this wife. Or no, was he divorce her or murder? This guy had 6 wives. Some were murdered, some were divorced, and they're all in my head right now. So let me see. So dragged on for 2 years. Okay, they argued.
They're all in my head right now. Yeah, because like, why not just kill her?
Oh no,
like
okay.
At that point,
he didn't kill her. He didn't.
No,
this one he didn't kill. He divorced her. He divorced her and he married the girl that he had his eye on.
Oh, so it's just basically the Pope says I can't. He got the Pope out of it and then just divorced.
He said now I can divorce her, and he did it on the grounds that she was my brother's wife. I should have never been with her anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
He actually had reasoning, and people weren't mad at him for that.
Yeah.
This isn't where he went crazy. He did kill other wives. We're gonna get to them. So now that he divorced and married the girl of his dreams, he was in a great mood. He had huge banquets, big parties, and they would only eat meat, no vegetables. He said vegetables are for poor people.
Fucking right. There we go. That's a king.
This guy, like I said, he was my super sweet 16 birthday. He's also MTV Cribs. He had 1,200 pairs of shoes. And he had a servant that wiped his ass. He had a specific servant to wipe his royal hiney.
Obviously a lady.
Oh, I don't know.
For sure.
And the way he got all this money for all these shoes and extravagant banquets was because he dissolved the relationship with the Pope. He started going to monasteries and burning them down and taking all their riches. And the funny thing is, well, not funny thing, but the way he did his reasoning for this was he made being gay illegal.
Did he?
And he accused a lot of the monks of having gay sex.
And
so he'd go in there and he'd be like, "You guys are fucking each other, aren't you? Give me all your money."
I've heard monks actually do that.
So there wasn't a lot of pushback on making being gay illegal, because it was already, England was homophobic at that time. It was the 1500s. Like, being gay was already frowned upon, but he's the king that made it a law. You're dead if you do gay acts.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So like I said, there wasn't much pushback to make that a death penalty. But the fucked up thing is, the last two, that law lasted until the 1835. The last 2 guys were killed for being homosexual, and that was hundreds of years after him. So these changes that King Henry made were game changers for like hundreds of years. Like all this, like cutting off from the Pope, making being gay illegal, burning down monasteries. It was a big changing point in England's history.
It's a little weird to have 1,200 pairs of shoes and you don't like gay people.
You think that's gay to have that many shoes?
You
think shoes are gay?
You're super fashionable,
and
you like maybe you're just jealous. You walk in and see these monks. Yeah, it's fucking swag. No, they're always swag. And then you just went off on them. But I've actually heard that monks do that. They do that stuff.
What?
They like engage in like.
Well,
there's each other.
To this day we have the problem in the Catholic Church where priests are fucking young boys.
Wait, were these Catholic monks?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He cut off. So these are the monasteries that were left behind from the Catholic religion.
Okay.
So England was still Catholic, but he was saying we're getting rid of these old traditions. These monks over here that are in these monasteries, I think they might be doing some gay shit.
That's so. I didn't realize that Catholic people could be monks. I thought that was like just like a Buddhist thing, like monks.
No, there's Catholic monks are like the ones that you see in a big robe, and they have like the hair just around the head. You seen those ones?
Yes, yeah.
Like Buddhists are straight bald.
Yeah.
Catholics have the hair around the head.
True.
Yeah.
Yo, this is fuck. And can we just go quick back to the servant wiping his ass?
Yeah.
Like, who do you think that was? And how do you think they did it? Do you think he just shit and then bend over, just full 90-degree angle?
Yeah. I think so.
You didn't even think about that for a second.
Spread your cheeks and lift your sack.
That'd be it, eh? Whoa, easy on the sack part. Why?
You don't want to get any shit on your sack.
Like,
is he wiping up or wiping down?
Circular.
He also had a nun killed. He was really going at the Catholic. He was really mad at the Pope for that cockblock.
Yeah.
And he made the religion pay. He had a nun killed for having a vision that the divorce he had would lead to his downfall.
Oh shit!
And he was so mad. He's like, "This girl's talking wild right now," and she became the first woman to have her head put on a spike on London Bridge.
Wow!
Before that, no, it had happened to men before, but never a woman, and it was a nun. Pretty crazy.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
It will be his downfall. I've had a vision. Yeah. He was like, "What, bitch?"
So all these new laws that he made, all this, the new Bible, everything, like burning down the monasteries. Anyone that had a problem with that, off with their heads.
Wow.
He was already on that wave, but in 1536, he had a fall from a horse in a jousting accident, which left him with a broken leg and his head all fucked up. Now, this might have been a little bit of CTE.
His head all fucked up? That's what it said in the thing you read?
You hear about wrestlers and football players and hockey players, they get CTE and they end up killing their whole family.
Of course, yeah.
Well, this was a turning point in King Henry's life because his violence accelerated and his descent into tyranny. They say 57 to 72,000 people were put to death in the next few years by him, including his own wife.
The one he wanted?
Because she never gave him a son.
Oh, she couldn't do it either?
Mm. Fuck. He accused her of adultery, murdered her, and married a new girl the next day.
You've been giving my son eggs to another man. Yeah. That's definitely what's been happening.
So second wife.
Murders her.
So it's been one divorced, one murdered so far. So the next one he marries, and he made an announcement because people were questioning his manhood. They're like, this king, he's been married twice. The first one was over 20 years. The next one was a short marriage, but they're like, no sons? This guy, is he a man? So he actually had a doctor make an announcement to the kingdom that he's like so manly, and if I was a woman, like I'd want him. Like this guy's I did a physical on him and he's such a man.
Yo, could you imagine somebody made you do that?
Yeah. Imagine
I made you do that.
And then King Henry and then King Henry has him executed for being gay. That's gay.
He just yells it from the back. Gay.
Yeah, he made that. You made me say it. Yeah, but that's gay that you let me make you say it. I was testing you. He also had a portrait painted that's like the most manly portrait. Let's see if I can pull up the picture for you. But King Henry, it's a really gangster portrait. He was like a very in shape masculine guy too. It wasn't like a fake image. Like
maybe he was gay.
Look at that.
Maybe he was. That's why he's like so super mad at gay people.
That's the portrait he had painted. He's
and
like,
he sees monks all happy together.
look at those calves.
Having gay sex. And after like he saw the monks having gay sex, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm gonna kill all these guys." And then look how he was dressed just then.
Maybe he was molested as a kid.
By who?
By a priest. And he was on a warpath.
True.
Yeah, maybe because all these theologians were coming to teach him things. They heard they heard that he was a sweet treat from the other priests. They're like, it's the king's second son. Nobody cares about him. He's not even in line to take the throne.
You should see the calves on this young man. They're like, calves, you say? Yes, calves.
Yeah,
meaty.
His calves were so strong from getting on his tippy toes to kiss priests on the lips.
Oh, come on. That's fucking crazy. But yeah, how many people did he kill?
Yeah, they said 57 to 72,000, including his own wife, because she didn't give him a son, so he accused her of adultery. We don't know if she did or not, but basically he got married to another girl the next day. He had a doctor make an announcement how manly he is. He had a painter paint a picture to show how manly he was, and at this point he was feeling pretty good.
He forced the doctor to say, if I were a woman, I would want to have sex with this man. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
I think he was gay. I think he's like Aaron Hernandez. You remember that story?
Ooh,
maybe there's some of that going on.
Maybe. But he seemed to love the ladies though.
Who?
King Henry the VIII.
So Hernandez, he was banging bitches out.
True, but this guy, he trades in wives like new models, like a new car,
like easy before his lease is even up.
Yeah,
he's just like, here you go.
So this is around the time where he wrote that new Bible. He came around to those ideas of Martin Luther. Put some reformist ideas in his, and he wrote a Bible, and that Bible, the first English Bible, he put on the cover of the Bible people worshiping a king, and then he put people getting beheaded in a corner. That was on the cover of a Bible. Anyone that didn't agree with his new direction, off with their heads. And he also wrote a book revolutionizing medicine, so he's a very smart guy.
Really?
Yeah. He revolutionized religion and medicine there.
But was he doing, like, he would write these things, but were they good? Because, like, you can go to North Korea, Kim Jong, he's known for, like, horse riding and this. He solved breast cancer, apparently.
Okay,
like,
so it could be very similar, because he did revolutionize medicine, because back then there were so many barbaric treatments for different things, and he was a very smart guy, so he found some easier ways to do certain things, and he found some medicines. He self-diagnosed a lot of things, and it's debatable how much stuff worked, but there was definitely leaps forward that he made in that book.
True.
From the way they used to do things, because it was such just a savage way to cure things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like, examine the foot before you chop it off.
Exactly. Things like that. Maybe give him a little heroin. So now this new wife, he finally had a son with her, but she died days later, childbirth.
Wow.
Or after childbirth, yeah.
So he did get a son.
Yeah, he finally got his son, but he lost his wife. So we had divorced, beheaded, and now divorced, beheaded, dead.
That's horrible.
So now he had to, since he's a king, you need a wife.
Always.
So
always.
Weeks later, he wasn't really in the mood, but his, what do you call your right hand man that's like supposed to like teach you and lead you?
Oh,
let's find out your next suitor or whatever.
Your consigliere.
Let's say he had a consigliere, and he came and he said, "Oh, we should marry this princess from Germany. It will really strengthen our alliance with them." And Henry was like, "Honestly, I don't care about alliances right now. She just better be hot."
Straight up,
right? He's getting older. He just wants a hot wife.
Yeah.
His consigliere is like, "Yeah, look, we have a picture of her right here, painted picture. We have a picture of her right here." He's like, all right, she looks good.
He's like, but this could be artist shopped. You know what the artists do.
So she showed up, and Henry was pissed. She was ugly.
Straight up.
He's like, the one thing I asked was for her not to be ugly. So he was so mad that his consigliere, he had him arrested for treason, and he had him beheaded. He's like, you traitor. You told me she was hot. What are you, blind?
Yeah, you know what? You don't do that. If I have to marry a girl on, so like, I'm already marrying her.
Yeah,
and
her whole kingdom showing up. We can't call it off now.
And she's not hot. You're dead.
Yeah,
you're dead because I'm a king.
Yeah,
and someone's gonna wipe my butt.
So he was arrested for treason. You set me
That
up
is
with
treason.
set me up with an ugly girl.
That is treason because you know what happens if he doesn't get a proper wife. His whole shit goes upside down, you know? So
True.
he wants a proper wife.
So now that we already know he's down with divorce, so he's like, fuck it, I'm not staying with this girl. 6 months later, he got divorced and he married his hottest wife ever. This is like apparently his most beautiful wife. He was 49 years old and she was 17.
Just like his.
She was only 17.
Who
I think
sings
that's
that
a
song? That's a real song.
yeah,
Is
it's
it
a
by
song.
Is it by Kiss? I think it's by Kiss. Isn't that fucking weird? They had a song like that
Yeah, what was it?
because they were not 17 when they made that song. I'm just saying.
No, it's definitely who is it? Who
It
made it?
has to be Kiss.
Why do you think it's Kiss?
Oh, is it the Beatles? Because I remember hearing that in a podcast or something.
No, there's another one they say they have a line about it. I saw her standing. Well, she was just 17, you know what I mean? And the way she looked was beyond compare. That's a Beatles song, but no, there's actually a song where the chorus is about her being 17, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Kiss. I'm pretty sure. Just break Kiss at the end.
Kiss.
Yo, Jammies has some wild search history.
I know.
They're fucked. Yo, clear your shit.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, see, it's Kiss. I knew it.
Is it?
Yeah. I knew it.
How do you see that's a she, but what is it talking about her being 17?
Because as soon as Kiss came up, I was like, I know this is the song. Because I remember hearing about this. And how people just like glaze over.
Yeah.
White
Okay,
guys
we'll get into
saying
that
stuff
another
like
day,
this.
but I didn't have that in the research, but I should have. Because
Nah.
that is a song that I would like to pull up the lyrics of to dive a little deeper into, but we'll keep it going. He married a 17-year-old. He was 49. She was hot. Who are we kidding? They said it was the hottest wife ever.
Of course.
Problem was, she cheated on him. He was heartbroken. He actually was like, I love this girl. And at this point, he used to be, so now he's later in life. He already had that fall off the horse. Before that fall off the horse, great shape. He was so active, sexy boy. Calves for days. Calves for days. Tall, handsome.
Sexy boy.
Could sing, could dance, could write plays. He did it all.
Medicine.
But after he fell off the plane.
The horse.
The horse. What is a horse if not a plane of the 1500s?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You gonna get on that flight? Anyways. After he fell off the horse, he got really fat.
Of
He
course.
went from being like 200 pounds. They say at the beginning of his kingship, his waist was like around 32 inches. But by the end, it was over 50.
God damn.
He got real fat. He got to close to like 400 pounds.
Wow, really?
He got so fat that they built a mechanical thing to lift him up onto his horse.
No.
Yeah.
For
'Cause
real?
He couldn't get up on his own anymore.
That's insane.
Yeah. So he wasn't looking as good as he used to. So for the 17-year-old girl looking at her 49-year-old fat husband, she probably didn't want to fuck him too much, but she did want to fuck. So she did.
49 translates into 82.
Yeah.
You know, and 17 translates into like what? Maybe 29 back then. Give him like life. Like you were real lucky to live 40 something.
Yeah.
Like that's
For sure.
like only kings were doing that shit.
He didn't have proof that she cheated, but he did have proof that she had sex with another man before they got married because she was betrothed to somebody else. She was actually supposed to marry this other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew about that. So because he found out that she had sex before marriage, he just made a law on the spot that if you marry a king and you're not a virgin, it's treason. So he made that law while they were married, and he's like, you're dead.
Yeah.
Killed another wife.
Wow, killed her.
Divorced, beheaded, dead. Divorced, beheaded.
Did he fuck her?
Did he fuck her? I'm sure he fucked her a couple times.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. That's just weird.
Now, the interesting story about this girl is
Like he's quicker to kill people or kill wives than to fuck them, it seems.
Since this one was kind of like an on the spot beheading, like he just made a law on the spot. She tried running away, and as she was running away, this guy was like trying to like chop at her with an axe, and it took a while. It was like he missed a couple times, he hit her a couple times. Finally, he killed her. But they say to this day, that castle, she haunts the gallery, running, screaming for her life. You can hear her screaming and pleading not to kill her. They call it the haunted gallery.
Isn't that crazy when you hear shit like that? Like, you think that's true? You think if you went there, you'd hear that shit?
I'm not gonna go find out, to be honest.
You think you believe in ghosts and shit?
A little bit. I'm not gonna say I don't.
You think if you talk about it right now, ghosts will pop up at night?
I already know that there's ghosts in this basement.
There's ghosts here?
Yeah.
And you're cool with it? See, that's another strength white people have. When there's ghosts, they don't leave. They're just like,
yeah, this
right,
ghost likes to
good.
party. So
you gotta explain. No, go ahead.
No. Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded. They actually made a poem about him. King Henry the VIII. To 6 wives he was wedded. 1 died, 1 survived, 2 divorced, 2 beheaded.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, it is sick.
That's a sick poem.
So now this is Henry's final wife, his 6th wife. He married and she treated him like a king. He was so fat, but she was just such a good wife. She was just wifey, you know what I mean? Just helping him get around, just treating him like a king, like he deserved to be treated. They only had one big fight, which he almost lost his mind over, and it was because they had an argument over the body of Christ.
Oh, shit.
So he was saying it's a miracle that priests go, they're turning the bread into the body of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, is it a miracle when we leave bread in the cupboard for 3 months and his mold grows on it? Is that a miracle because it changes? And he's like, bitch, you talking about religion right now? And he was about to have her arrested for questioning religion, and she's like, whoa, I wasn't disagreeing, I was just learning, you're just teaching me stuff. And he's like, oh, okay, I like you.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's smart. She was like one of the first ladies to like do that. That was like a new technique ladies had.
Yeah.
She's like, no, you are the one who's right.
Yeah.
You're showing me things.
I'm laughing at your jokes, you're teaching me stuff.
Oh, wow. I got a girl like that. That's what my girl does for me.
Really?
Yeah.
At this point, he had got so fat and so unhealthy that he knew he was going to die soon. So he's like, let's go take one last crack at France.
Oh, yeah?
I just want to take one more swing at France while I'm alive. I want to be that king that took one more. Let's go take a castle or whatever. So
that's so weird.
they went to France, and he had a really cool victory. This castle that they were never able to take over. What he did was they dug a hole under the castle so that some of his soldiers could come up under and be inside already.
Okay.
And they ended up taking the castle, and it was a great victory. Great victory, but it also bankrupted England. He spent so much money doing it just because he's like, fuck it, I'm about to die anyway, so I'm just gonna do one last really cool thing, and I'm gonna spend all this money digging this hole. What
an asshole. He's like Trump at the wall.
Because they got bankrupt, he started making his own currency, and it was basically they only used gold and silver up until that point. So now he put copper in the mix, and he just put silver plating on it. And one of the nicknames for this king was Copper Nose, because if you kept one of those coins for a while, where his nose was on the coin,
it would
start wearing away. Yeah.
Wow.
Copper Nose King Henry.
That's so weird. Oh. Copper Nose King Henry. He was black. Oh, another person who's actually black.
That's how you feel?
They called him Copper Nose.
Yeah, because the copper on the coin.
Such a wide nose of copper this king has. Very odd. And he's running around doing rapper shit all day. This is very niggerish shit he's doing.
Trading in wives, singing, dancing, writing plays.
Right? That's fucking funny.
So, yeah, that led to inflation too. It kind of fucked up the economy, but overall the changes that he made, like with money and giving away land and everything, it did lead to the Industrial Revolution and England becoming a superpower. Without his era as king in England, they would have stayed under the Pope's thumb. They would have never got their own governing. Instead of being under papal rules, they became a parliament. They got their own rules and everything. You know,
papal.
Is that what you call it? Papal. I don't know.
Are those words?
There's a word. I think it's papal or something. There's a way to say it. Papal rule, papal rule. I don't know. Who knows, man?
I've never heard of that.
This is a history podcast, not a
English podcast.
Or linguistics.
Yeah.
What do you think we're gonna say words, right?
Yo, real quick. I don't know if you're jumping ahead, but who the fuck took over? Like, he didn't have a son. Like,
yeah, he did. He had a son. The girl that died during childbirth.
Oh, and that son's just good. He didn't kill that son.
Yeah, that son, King Edward.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
he followed up. He didn't leave him with much money to rule and stuff. And his son, that castle that King Henry captured, 3 years later he was dead, and the son had to sell it back to France because he's like, we're running out of money, so you guys can have it back. Just pay me for it.
I think this king was black. You're gonna argue this? They call him Copper Nose and all this shit. Come on. Didn't leave his son with much. It's like I spent it all. I'm sorry. Digging holes. I was fucking bitches. This is a blur. I apologize.
So yeah. What do you think about King Henry?
I think he was black. By
That's
the time you got to the end of it and you said Copper Nose, I was like, okay, this guy's black. He has to be. Look at all this stuff he's done.
Yeah. Overall, he.
No, I think what I think about him, he's a
like
weird.
when you look at his legacy as a whole, like he wrote books. He influenced culture. He revolutionized healthcare. He revolutionized religion. His biggest crime was killing a lot of people for disagreeing with him and getting rid of wives. But divorce is hard. Sometimes it's easier to kill them than to divorce them.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I look at this like all these things that he did. Like, were they really improvements? Like, were they actually? Or was it just like them going along with what a king said? Because this king was known to kill you if you disagreed with him.
Okay, so here's one of the facts of medical improvements. So Henry turned his attention to the medical profession. To that point, physicians practiced without any regulation. Quacks and scammers offered medical services to desperate members of the community who fell ill. Henry changed this. By royal decree, he established what would become the Royal College of Physicians, and followed that up with an act of parliament which remains in force today. So that was a game changer. This body granted license to those qualified. So basically nobody needed a doctor's license before. You could just say, I'm a doctor, I'll fix you up.
Yeah, but what does this lead to?
They introduced the first standards for malpractice.
Only the people that he wanted to be doctors could be doctors then at that point.
It was the first step to dragging medicine away from superstition and setting a path to becoming a scientific pursuit.
See, superstition back then could have been like, yo, you just eat this rosemary and your headache's going to go away. And they'd be like, well, you sound like you need to die, sir. You sound like you need some treason in your life.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think
Let's sprinkle some treason on him. Oh, there we are. You must die now. Who knows? I don't know. Well,
the fact that they're saying that he put implements that remain in force today, I think if they lasted 500 years, I think it must have been pretty decent.
But that works under a democracy. That doesn't work under a kingship. I think. I don't even know if
you're just shitting on what he might have done good. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm just saying, bro. If you go to North Korea, you can hear about a lot of good things that the in charge dictator family has done. They solved cancer.
True.
They have a lot of food for everybody.
He was beheading a lot of people, so I feel like most likely, eventually, people got the point that they're like, we should just write complimentary stuff about this guy.
I think so,
because we might get off with our heads.
You never know. I don't know. But I will say the generosity, you can't really make that up.
That was his
parties and shit.
Early in his kingship, before falling off a horse.
Yes.
He seemed like just a fun-loving guy.
He seemed like a solid dude. He's just running around doing what kings should do. I'll give you that land because at the end of the day, it's my land.
Yeah.
And if I need it, I'll come and take it. But if you want it right now, here you go. Like, he was doing the good shit for people. I like all that.
Yeah.
Throwing all those parties and everything, making the community feel amazing, or the kingdom, I should say. I like all that stuff.
I like the fact that he had influence on culture too. Like he was writing songs, writing books. He was the first king to have a book published.
What was the book?
The first book that he had was called "Defending the Seven Sacraments."
Yeah,
then he wrote a book on medicine, and then he wrote his own Bible. He didn't write his own Bible, but he took these ideas and these ideas. He put together his own Bible.
Yeah. Made the greatest hits.
Just a hot mixtape. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I like that too. I'd like to hear some of those songs and that stuff and read those books. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, he has a cool statue too.
And also,
Is that not a cool statue?
That's pretty ballin'. That's when he was bigger though.
Yeah.
That's when he was like fat dude.
They said his face was so good looking that even if a woman had it, it would still be attractive.
The face?
Yeah, they said his face was like so good looking
That it could be a man or
that
a woman.
man or woman, you still want to fuck.
That's kind of hard to believe. Let's go back to that face real quick. Can we just get a little?
Let's see a closer one.
Yeah, there was like a. There, go a little. That's a completely black face.
Yeah, isn't that what you wanted?
Go to that one. Isn't that what you wanted?
That doesn't look that good.
Yeah, it looks all right, I guess. You know, I'd hit either way, just for the story.
Just for the story.
Yeah, of course. Henry
you want to pause that or what?
I'll put the pause right here. Pause.
Yeah, Henry the VIII. There was one in 2003. There was a movie, and who plays him? Let's see. Was it a good-looking guy?
Michael Fassbender. That's who should play Henry the VIII. Is it Michael Fassbender?
No.
Fuck out of here. If they make another movie about him, it has to be Michael Fassbender.
It's Ray Winstone.
Let me get a look at this guy's face. Who,
guy.
man or woman? Right?
Yeah.
No?
I've seen a girl like that.
Have you? You hit?
But he's been in a couple. There's been a couple people that played him. Like I'm sure he was in a TV show as well. But
true.
Yeah, man, Henry VIII definitely a exciting king.
I would definitely say statues should all stay up. I don't think he did anything so horrible in history that anything
just killed 72,000 people.
But why?
Because they were disagreeing with his cool new rules.
That's it, right? Like, he's writing books, he's doing nice things, you know, and then they're booing. He's just like, I don't have to have you guys here.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to be here.
Saw somebody throw his book in the garbage, and he's like, "Oh, off with your head."
He's like, "Okay,
if you're not using your head to read my book, then I guess you don't need your head."
Only took me 6 months to write it, but yeah, that's fine. Murdered. Done.
Henry VIII.
No, I think he murdered a bunch of people. Yes,
and let's give him a break. He had CTE. He was same way like you see a Chris Benoit or a football player that ends up killing. Okay, let's say Chris Benoit. Benoit, everyone had nothing but nice things to say about him for years.
Rest in peace, Chris
But
Benoit.
when you've been doing that many flying headbutts, eventually you're gonna want to kill your family. Now, Henry VIII, his first 20 years of kingship, everyone was like, "This guy was fucking."
That was a wild line. Flying headbutts, you're gonna want to kill your family.
Now, Henry VIII was just throwing mad parties and having a good time. He was having such a good time that he was still participating in jousts, which normally kings didn't do. But he's like, I want to get up there on the horse with you guys. I want to play too.
He's like, let's have fun.
Ends up hitting his head. Ends up wanting to kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's fucked up. It is fucked up. Like, if it is like when we're talking about CT, it is fucked up when that shit happens, because you do fucked up shit, and like, you know, certain mental health issues will have you not be held accountable. But for some reason, when it comes to that, people are just like, fuck it. That was all you.
I know.
It's
so I think I'm on the. I've seen the movie Concussion. I feel bad for these gladiators that end up having head injuries, and it ruins their mental. I've had a lot of concussions. My head's a little fucked up.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Fuck. How?
Sports, falling out of a tree, doing other stupid shit.
You fell out of a tree?
I fell 30 feet out of a tree and landed on my head.
For real?
Yeah. They said I should have been dead or paralyzed for life.
Oh my god.
I never told you this?
No.
Yeah,
that's fucked.
So that was my King Henry the VIII moment when I fell. He fell off a horse. I fell out of a tree.
And you were like, I have to kill thousands of people.
Yeah. If I could order some beheadings right now, I would. No, I wouldn't. I've never been like, somebody offended me and been like, I want to cut their head off.
Can you imagine? Like someone says something, you're like, I should be able to kill that guy.
Are you disrespecting me right now? That's treason.
I should be able to take his life for what he just said to me. I've never had that thought process.
No. But I guess we're not kings.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what the fuck it's like. You don't have that kind of power.
And then you really might know what it's like to kill a guy. I don't know.
Right. What was that, little Everlast, little Johnny Cash?
Everlast, yeah.
It was a little mix.
Yeah, man. So, of all the guys we've done, I think King Henry VIII, what'd they say? what did Shakespeare say? I understand why
Shakespeare said
they look back on him like in a bad note, because his evil manners live in brass, the virtues we write in water. King Henry the VIII, when you at first glance, you're gonna think this guy was a bad guy. He killed so many people. He divorced and beheaded a bunch of wives. Pretty much like every time you send me an ugly girl, off with your head. He was pretty flippant. I guess beheadings are like Pringles. You know, once you pop, you just can't stop.
Because why would you?
Like, first time he went to execute somebody, the executor looked at him. He's like, "I bet you can't just execute one."
He's like, "You sure you want to open these floodgates, bro?"
Yeah. Once you know how good this feels to say off with your head. It would be nice to say off with your head, though. Like, say everyone in their life gets one off with your head. Somebody wrongs you so bad, and you can just go off with their head, and an executor comes out, puts them on a fucking chopping block, chops their head off.
This is what's deep inside of white people here. That's exactly.
You get one off with your head. I personally haven't had a reason to use it yet. If I had it, I wouldn't. I mean, maybe I would have.
You would have used it on a stupid moment. It would have been like a drunken moment.
No, I've never even felt like killing anyone once.
But like, it wouldn't be about killing somebody. You just have to yell it.
Off with their head.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to be really ready to kill. You know,
no, I'd say
it's like when you want a hamburger. You don't have to get ready to kill nothing. You just order it up.
I would save it for a time where that person really deserved it.
Is that what you do? You'd be like Batman, but like a wasp kind of Batman. Because once you hit it once, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Who would really deserve it?
I don't have anyone in mind.
Right?
I said I haven't felt it before.
Yeah, no, there's nobody. There's nobody really. I mean, like rapists. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like
no
one in your immediate life, you know? Unless.
No, not yet. I said I haven't had one yet. If somebody rapes somebody I care about, I'd probably say off with their head.
Off of their head? Yeah, all right, that's a good one.
Yeah. That's a good one, yeah.
I wouldn't want that power at all. Because you do it once, it would happen so smooth, and then you'd want to do it again. And you'd be like, why can't I do it again? Yeah, but you'd be like, come on.
You'd be bargaining for another off with your head?
You'd be like, I should get another one. This is a really bad thing this person did. Yeah? I don't know.
True.
I don't know. Don't kill people, everybody.
Don't kill people.
Don't.
100% don't kill people.
You don't need to.
We wouldn't get our hands dirty, though. I'm saying we have an executor come and do it. We don't all become murderers. We all become kings.
White people had this conversation in a room thousands of years ago.
Yeah. We have a guy do it for us.
No one gets dirty.
We pay him handsomely to cut people's heads off.
It will be like a bunch of guys. We'll just send them out.
Yeah.
And we'll all be kings.
They'll wear masks. They'll wear a cool mask.
Fuck. But what else about King Henry?
No, that's it, man. He was he came, he saw, he fucked, he loved. He made being gay illegal. He cut England off from the church. He made money so inflation went crazy, and he gave away a bunch of land. And overall, he was just implemental to England's history. Yeah. He was a big turning point in their history. His influence on culture was pretty cool. Guys, go listen to some Henry VIII tracks. He wrote a couple songs for you. Let's see what his most famous song was.
King Henry the VIII song. There's gonna be no real songs.
No, there's one that he had.
And like, how did he write these songs? He'd be like, all right, you're gonna sing this, you're gonna sing that. He probably had somebody write it. God Save the King. Of course, that's the song he wrote.
No, that's from a musical. List of songs by Henry VIII. Okay, let's see.
A list?
Yeah. What are you?
Green Growth the Holy. I want to hear that song.
Green growth the holy. No, I don't know.
It's probably.
I can't play it right now.
I got that.
We'll get taken down, right?
I got that green. It's growth. It's holy. I got that green. It's growth. It's holy. Hey.
Oh my heart.
Hey.
It is to me a right great joy. Green growth the holy. Gentle Prince de Ronom. Departure is my chief pain. Yeah, they're hits, mad hits. We'll listen to some after. But yeah, anyways, Henry VIII. I don't know how people feel about him. It seems like most people think he was a dick, but it does seem like he contributed some pretty cool stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
And if it's true, like, was he just power tripping to get the monasteries out, calling them all gay, or was he actually stopping monks from fucking young boys that were in monasteries learning to become a priest?
Oh, wow! I didn't even think of that part of it.
I brought it up. We mentioned it.
Well, I know you said young boys, but when I thought of monks, I didn't think of like the way priests would.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was thinking.
The priests of
that's
today,
exactly
like,
where my mind went. Like the altar boys that come and help them run a mass.
Oh fuck! So maybe he went in there and he was like, "I'm gonna drain the swamp."
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck all
he
this.
might have been
Wow,
that dude.
True.
He might have been the first guy to take a shot at dismantling that fucked up part of the church.
Yeah.
And if he did, that'd be pretty nice. But if he was just a homophobic guy that was trying to rob the church of money, then that's a different story.
Yeah, this is 1500, so
Yeah.
why not both?
Could be both. Could
You
be
know?
both.
Why not both?
Yeah.
Both are possible. That's insane. And he didn't want to be under the rule of the Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be
He's like,
it.
miss me with that gay shit. I'm fucking 6 wives, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 things I don't like: gay people and ugly women.
Jesus. And then that's just how he ruled. He just went through. He's like, I'm just gonna stick to those 2 principles.
Oh yeah, when his conciliary brought him an ugly woman, he's like, "What are you, gay? Deaf."
He's like, "This is treason.
This is treason. You're either so gay that you don't realize this woman's ugly, or you're setting me up with an ugly woman. Either way, off with your head."
Can you imagine one of your boys? You bring an ugly. Your boy thinks the chick you bring is ugly, and he's just like, "Are you gay?"
Yeah.
And also, I have to kill you.
It's like, yeah,
for what you've done. I don't know how to explain it to you. Other way.
Bring her on a double date.
He's like, "Guys, this has been a lovely meal. I gotta kill my friend. I think he's gay. Both you guys are ugly. Let's us peace out."
Goddamn.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, your girl's ugly too.
That's crazy.
Not fit. She's not fit for a king. But it is also tough when he started off as like the most handsome guy in great shape, and then he ends up being like just a real fat slob, and then probably at that point the concierge is like, this guy doesn't expect to get a hot girl anymore, does he? He's a fat piece of shit. And then in his mind he's like, I'm still that dude.
Yeah, of course.
I write plays.
He's like, do you know who I am?
I sing songs. I dance.
He's like, I'm the 8th.
Yeah.
Like, you know who you're talking to?
Well, that was another episode. Henry VIII.
Henry VIII.
Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. He was a bad boy.
Little bit homophobic, little bit of a freedom fighter for the church there, getting out of the thumb of the church.
Yeah, I knew you'd like the whole cutting off ties with the Pope part.
Yeah, that's boss shit.
And maybe a pedophile hunter. Who knows?
Right? That's what it said. Like, just as you said that makes perfect sense. I don't want to be under this rule because they're doing this, and that's it.
He would walk into those monasteries. You guys, fucking young boys in here. Yeah, I remember you. I remember you, father. I remember you talking about my sweet calves when I was a child. I know you were checking me out.
Oh my god!
And he's just like, yeah, off. What a way to get money.
Wow. Wait, and then, yeah. That just brings me on a whole new train of thought, because you even mentioned maybe he got molested, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and then that's how
it was all payback.
That's how he knew.
We could make like
he's like, I know you guys are doing this.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not asking questions, and now it's against the law, and you're all dead.
We could make like a bizarro fan fiction Henry VIII movie where it's like, yeah, he's a vigilante out for justice on these monasteries that fuck young boys in their place, and it's just him going to all the different monasteries in England and burning it to the ground.
Wow,
it's fucked up.
New respect for Henry VIII. I like him.
Yeah, that's
I like him.
In an alternate universe, that happened 100%.
Just, if he just killed a little less people, but you know what? He's, in terms of numbers, through all the people that we've gone through on the show, he's not that high on the list.
No rape either. No rape came up for him.
0 rapes.
Yeah.
0. Ladies can't resist calves.
I just like how, the 2 funniest things he did in my opinion is bringing an ugly girl treason, and then the other time where the girl cheated on him and he didn't have proof of it. So he's just like, oh, you know what? It's against the law to not be a virgin when you marry a king. You treasonous bitch. Off with your head right now.
Crazy.
She was only 17.
Yeah, there's a song. You know, I won't talk about it. But there's another song that's like that. There's more songs that are like that with very questionable lyrics.
Yeah, it was a crazy time.
From somebody who's very big right now.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Drake.
Who?
Drake?
Listen, you're not going to talk about a Toronto Saint like that, okay?
I'm
It's still February right now, okay?
Oh, you're giving people a peek behind the curtain? Yeah.
You don't talk about the patron saint of the six.
I wasn't shitting on him. Okay. I was just asking if he has a line in a song about that. Anyways, eventually in 3 years we'll do an episode on Drake and how he conquered music.
I can't wait to do an episode on Drake.
Really? You love him, eh?
No, but there's some pros and there's some cons. Definitely
is.
You know?
And you know what? This is Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. I'm your host, James, and you can find me at jam_easy. Tune into my IG lives Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 9:30-ish at jam_easy. Call and tell them where you can find me.
If you watch Jimmy Fallon, if you watch Jimmy Kimmel, if you watch anything like that, take it off your schedule. Watch this guy's show instead, because it's better than those shows, better conversations, and his hair is nicer than all those guys I just mentioned.
That's facts. Should I change my name to Jimmy? Because my name is James.
James.
And a lot of people, James is, like, those guys were probably called James when they were a kid.
For sure.
And when they grew up, they're like, I'm Jimmy now.
Yeah.
Jimmy Cummins.
You can do it. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, of course I
shit
can.
on those guys.
I know, but I've only had like one or two people in my life call me Jimmy, so I feel like it would be dishonest.
Jack calls you Jimmy all the time. He's like, "Hey, Jimmy."
Jack who?
Jack in the group, the comedian guy, Jackoff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's always like Jimmy, and I even corrected him. Like,
I probably didn't even realize he was
James,
talking to me.
bro.
I probably thought there was another guy named Jimmy in the group.
Right.
The group of real natties and big dumpers.
It's a secret society.
Secret society. Anyways, tell them where they can find you.
Matt Collins Process. That's where you see me doing all my art stuff, cartoon stuff. It's a little bit of psychedelic advertising that I'm doing for companies that aggressively focus on me and target me. I redo their stuff.
Yeah.
And I do podcasts. And my podcast, Collins Process, it's dropping soon. I'm going to do another episode. It's episode 50. It's going to be the first one of 2021.
Wow.
And I got to get consistent.
Do you have a guest on it?
No, I'm thinking I'm just going to talk.
Nice.
Like, I like doing episodes where I just talk, and I'm going to get back to the guest stuff.
Can I give you a suggestion? If you're doing a solo episode,
okay,
have a mirror in front of you.
A mirror?
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't want to.
I heard it steps up your.
Actually, you know what? I kind of do, because like this is kind of like a mirror.
Yeah.
When you're doing.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah. True.
No, I heard a lot of these guys that have successful one-man podcasts will do it in front of a mirror, because seeing your own facial expressions and everything, it'll just make you talk more engaged.
You're communicating with somebody almost.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my tip of the week, guys. If you're going to run a solo podcast, do it in front of a mirror.
True.
And have lots of fun with it. Just have fun with it. You know what I mean? Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because if you love what you're doing, then people that listening might love it too.
And don't do it for the money. Don't focus on that.
Yeah.
It will all come.
Do it for the pussy. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Pros and Conquerors, the bad boys of history. Rate, review, subscribe, and share. And remember to participate on our Instagram and shit and all that good stuff and blah, blah, blah. Follow us on Instagram.